this video, I'm going to show you how to make this really versatile dough that you can use for cookies, for tarts, for cakes, among various other things. It's kind of similar to a short crust pastry dough, which is what it translates to from German, but they are pretty different, so don't let it fool you. So this recipe follows a 1 to 2 to 3 ratio, which is 1 part sugar to 2 parts butter to 3 parts of flour. In this case, I'm using 100 grams of sugar, 200 grams of butter, and 300 grams of flour. It also calls for a pinch of salt and a splash of vanilla. You can also add just about any other flavor that you like, such as cinnamon, some coffee powder, or some chocolate powder, as well as lemon zest, some Tonka paste, or even ground nuts. I usually add 50 grams of ground nuts in addition to these 5 ingredients to make Christmas cookies. I'm also going to be using softened butter, which is different to cold butter, which is what you use in a short crust pastry. In this recipe, you can also use cold butter if you want your dough to be a little more crispy and flaky. But if you want yours to be a little more fluffy and delicate, which is what I usually go for, you're going to want to use softened butter or room temperature butter. All you're going to do is add your butter, sugar, salt, and vanilla into a big mixing bowl and let that get really light and fluffy before folding in your flour. You can also add a teaspoon of baking powder or an egg yolk if you wish. I'm just gonna leave it out. The butter and sugar mixture is all done. It should be nice and fluffy and kind of light in color like this. Now all we're going to do is add in our dry ingredients, and I'm going to be adding a bit of lemon zest and just give us one more really quick mix just to get the flour incorporated, and then we're going to really quickly knead it together. We want to try and keep a little bit of the air inside of the dough, so we don't want to over knead it. Once it's just barely come together to a dough, I'm going to stop mixing it because I don't want to over knead it. I'm going to give this one quick mix with the spatula before letting it chill. My dough has come together really nicely, so I'm not even going to bother kneading it with my hands. If yours still isn't coming together quite as good, you can always just lay it onto your platform or your countertop and give it a nice quick knead with your hands to bring it all together. Once your dough is all ready to go, you're going to want to place it into a Tupperware or wrap it in some plastic wrap or in a plastic bag and place it in the fridge for at least 30 to 60 minutes to chill. That'll allow the butter to get nice and hard again, and it'll be much easier to try and do anything with it because right now it's still kind of sticky. You can also leave this dough in the fridge for up to 7 days if you kind of want to make it ahead. This is what I do quite often if I'm making a whole bunch of Christmas cookies. I'll start by making a couple of doughs the night before and then let them to sit out for an hour or 2 hours before I shape the cookies to allow the dough to get a little bit soft again. That being said, all I'm going to do now is transfer this into my tupper and then place it into the fridge.